This is Daybreak with Vivek Sanil and Muriel Desar. Talk 100.3.
9:51 on the clock. A very good morning to you. Now, talking to us a little bit about the way we need to treat our injuries. We have Dr. Tarek Jawad, consultant orthopedic surgeon from Fakeeh University. Good morning, doctor, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, what are some of the most important things to know when exercising?
So the time before and after exercising is just as important as the exercise itself. We have to prepare our bodies and make sure we don't get any injuries. So a proper warm-up and a proper cool-down, which most people forget, are equally as important as the exercise itself.
Doctor, injuries are very common during sports. How do you look at it?
So injuries are parts of sports. Usually they're very minor. As long as we make sure we do as much as we can to make the injuries as low as possible and treat them as quick as possible, we can get everyone back on the field as soon as possible and back to having fun.
What are the common ways that we can avoid injuries? Is there a way we can avoid injuries, or
yes.
are we all prone to it?
Yes, proper stretching, warm up before and cool down after. You can avoid injuries. The second is proper technique during training. So most common injuries are usually twisted joints. So as long as we're using proper technique while doing our sport, we can avoid many injuries.
Are there any specific sports that we shouldn't be playing? For example, football requires a next level of fitness, and I noticed a lot of my friends who are 40, they have plastered legs for a week. So you should be careful in terms of what sport you take.
Any sport is good. The only thing we should watch out for is the intensity. So we should know our limitations. We should never stop training, because the more sports you do, the younger you stay, the healthier you stay. So I would never recommend anyone stop sports. It's just when you're 40 playing sports, stop trying to play like you're Cristiano Ronaldo.
At 40, they're dreaming of coming in the team, the national side. Yeah. That dream never dies.
Yeah, that's true, which is good. You should always keep training.
Right. And doctor, I have to also ask you another question. Now, how do you treat common injuries so that they don't turn into chronic problems?
Okay, so most common injuries can be treated really quickly. As soon as we get treatment as soon as possible. So if you can go to a doctor quickly, make sure nothing major is injured. We can treat it usually with conservative management, pain meds, ice, and if needed, some physiotherapy, which, by the way, we have a very good team at Fakeeh University Hospital for that, I have to tell you. And if we do that, we can avoid the injuries becoming chronic, because when they become chronic, they become much more difficult to treat.
Right. Now, do you come across regular problems or regular, issues that you've seen cropping up into your clinic? Like, it's on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
At least 4 or 5 of them with the similar problems.
It's usually either twisted ankles or sprained wrists, because when anyone falls, they protect themselves with their hands. The twisted ankles, usually they're in any sports like cricket, football. You're focusing so much on the ball, you're not seeing the person next to you, so you can bump into them, twist an ankle or a shoulder. But those are usually minor injuries, and also if you treat those quickly, you can get back to training quickly instead of trying to keep playing on it, then making it worse, and then you're out for a longer time.
Dr. Tarek, are there any tips in terms of how to maintain your health in a healthier way in terms of, whenever you are into sports?
Yeah, consistency is key.
Okay.
So the whole weekend warrior style is not recommended, because the whole week you're not doing anything, then you try to play like you did when you were a kid on the weekends, and then you're sore the whole week. You can do less exercise, but on a more consistent basis. That way, over the year, you'll have more exercise in total than just going on the weekends, and you'll be healthier and stronger.
Superb tip, yeah. This is an amazing tip by Dr. Tarek Jawad, yeah.
And when you're talking about sports, doctor, I mean, we say the boys are more into sports and the girls are not, because they're more fragile. Is this a myth that you'd like to say, especially from the medical standpoint?
Maybe last generation, but this, from what I'm seeing these days, the girls are just as tough as the boys. maybe even tougher when it comes to pain management.
Right.
And when you're talking about injuries, does weight have to do anything with it?
Logically, if someone sprains their ankle and they weigh 80 kilos, there's less weight on the ankle than someone who's 100 kilos. So the more someone weighs, depending on the injury, it can make it a bit worse, and depending on the sport also.
How would you define fit?
Fit is just someone who exercises regularly. The whole six-pack abs that has nothing to do with it. As long as you're training, you're fine. Yeah.
And fried chicken is also okay. Yeah?
Oh, God.
Once in a month.
In moderation, yeah, everything's good.
What is the routine that you follow, doctor? I mean, you look absolutely fit. So you've got to tell me. In fact, when he was sitting outside, I thought he was
Model.
Sanjay Dutt or a model sitting outside, and I said,
Yes, to lead by example. no?
lead,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the routine that you follow?
For me, I do training 5 days a week. 3 days is weight training and 2 days is jiu-jitsu, which I recommend for everyone.
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Really?
Never pick up a fight with Dr. Tarek.
Absolutely not after this. Anything in particular that you'd want to advise everybody, the ones that are listening to you right now?
Yeah, be consistent with your training, and if possible, always try to add some kind of weight or resistance training to you, because the stronger your muscles are, they've done studies, the stronger someone is physically, all forms of sickness go down. So I always recommend weight training for anyone. It helps with any sport.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Tarek, for taking
Thank you
time
very
out,
much.
coming to our studios and talking to us with a smile on your face. And you really need to consider modeling.
Thank you very much. I'd like to give a shout out to my whole team at Fakeeh University Hospital. It's a great team. Come by anytime.
Fakeeh
Thank you.
University Hospital. Thank you so much. सुनते रहिए टॉक 100.3 हमारे जाने का टाइम